you know, mostly advantageous, and least advantageous instead of a bidding process. So here's the timeline. Sure, let me just move this out of the way. All right, so we got the RFP out on the street, the request for proposal, back at the end of November 2022, and then we had a pre-bid conference for them to visit the site, ask any question. We got like a lot of site worker, utility subcontractor, and couple modular company. So there were some during the bidding. There were some question that some company asked to extend out the bid. Initially, it was due on the 28th, but we extended out on January 4th to give bidder enough chance, due to the holiday, and they have to coordinate with their subcontractor. So on the 4th, we received 3 proposals. One is from Aris, J&J, who is the general contractor, and Triumph Modular. And we brought them in, all 3 of them, for an interview on the 9th. And after the interview, the project team ranked them as Triumph is the mostly advantageous. And then second place is Ares, and then J&J is third, which is less advantageous. So a little bit on the timeline is that so this week we're hoping to get the vote tonight, and then get them in contract, and also get the modular in order, so we can all 3 firms confirm that they can get the modular by August the 12th, and so that's what we're targeting for, get the modular in place for August 12th, so we can move the student and the teacher in there for fall of 2023. So here's an overview of the ranking. So first we ranked the proposal, and then we brought them in for the interview, and then we ranked the 3 firms based on the interview and their presentation. So Triumph is the most advantageous. Their fee proposal came in at $4,248,270. So our budget for the swing space for the modular portion only is $4,870,916. So the saving for the modular alone is $622,646. I know some of you might remember the number as in 5.5 million, but that 5.5 million included the 500,000 for the interior renovation of the Parkhurst itself, not the modular. And we also have 150,000 of that for soft costs for the design team. That's so the total combined, if you take the 4.8 plus the saving and that 500,000 for the interior and the 150,000, that's where the 5.5 million. So because a lot of you remember 5.5 million, but actually the modular itself is 4.8. So for this portion alone, we got a saving of 622,646. So tonight, as I mentioned, I'm looking for a vote to move forward with Triumph Modular for $4,248,270. That's what they proposed.
So while you have that slide up, Andy, can you just take a moment to talk about the lease extension option that all 3 had to submit on, and what flexibility that gives us in the future if we need it?
Yes. So here for Triumph, we have the total cost of 4.2 million that I mentioned earlier. So for the lease extension that they also put in their proposal for the 12-month, each month is going to cost $29,850 for a total of $358,200 in case something goes wrong during construction. We can extend out the lease for another 12 months. We have J&J, their price, they're proposing at 4.8 million, and their lease extension is a lot higher, which is about $57,577 a month, for a total of, for 12 months, $690,000. And Aries Building Construction, their fee proposal is 4.2 million, a little bit higher than Triumph, and their lease extension is about 48,000 a month. And if we extend it out for 12 months, it's 576,000. So again, Triumph is ranked most advantageous, and then Aries, and then J&J. And this is not based on the price, it's based on the proposal that they submitted and the presentation that they after the interview, and the entire team ranked them based on that.
And can I just add one other thing, Andy, just again for the rest of the committee to understand apples to apples. Triumph and J&J were proposing to use actually the same manufacturer, so that the units themselves would actually be coming from the very same factory that would be in Pennsylvania. Aries was proposing to manufacture down in Georgia. But we at the end of the day, we'd be getting literally the same apples from Triumph and J&J.
We have 3 questions, Emily, Mark, and then Brian so far. So Emily, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure as part of your interview process, you guys vetted with them, just schedule, making sure that all the materials would be available in time and they had the manpower to meet the schedule.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. They all said the same thing, that, you know, the sooner they know, the better. One of them, I think it was Aries, wanted to get on the site a little bit earlier. I have to look at the notes. But I think Triumph and J&J, using the same manufacturer in Pennsylvania, seem to have the best chance of getting the units on the road.
Did they give you a lead time, or what the current lead time is?
They did not give a lead time on the units. They did agree to the end date, that they would make the end date.
They all have a, you know, it'd be go into production now, you know, as soon as we get a contract awarded, and then arrive on site in sometime between April to June. I think most of them were June.
Most of them are June, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that was it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mark?
Andy, on the lease extension, when does the lease extension need to be activated, if it needs to be, and is it month to month, or do you have to buy a whole year once you trip over the end date, the original end date?
So in the RFP, we asked for a month to month, and then up to 12 months. So we can do, you know, 2 months. Let's say we need 2 extra months, then we'll pay, like for Triumph, about almost 60,000. So we can extend that out by 2 months.
Right, what Brian's asking, which is a very good question, when do they have to know? Right, we can't come to September and say we didn't move in, right? Did they say how long? Or did you spell out in the RFP of how much notice they would get if we don't make the date?
Usually, we would give them like a 30-day notice, but we didn't spell it out. But I think in the past we worked with Triumph and we never have any issue. We always come to them, like, because usually they would be the one, if there's a problem, they would come to us and say, hey, you know, we have some unforeseen condition, we cannot make the schedule, or let's say if, you know, something got delivered and if there's damage, then, you know, they'll let us know, and then we can work with them to extend out the lease. Or I'm sorry, in this case, if we have construction, if there's a problem during the construction, we can reach out to them and give them, you know, 1 or 2 months ahead of time.
Can we verify that in the contract documents as to how much notice they need?
But yeah, I can verify. I can go back and.
Okay. Mark, anything else, or is that it?
I'm good.
Okay, Brian?
So two quick things. Or can you speak to just the comparison of recent local experience that the three bidders have in doing exactly this sort of project? Were they similar? Was Triumph well ahead of the others? Just, I see they're highly advantageous on the non-price proposal score. So I'm curious about recent local experience. And then the second one, kind of building on Jay's point, was have we seen, like, did we propose to them some sort of the contract that governs this, that governs the rental, that would govern the notice period for the extensions? Have they all seen that? Did they propose their own contracts? And have those contracts been looked at, reviewed, and compared? Is that part of the non-price proposal score, or are we sort of proposing a contract to them to govern the terms of the rental and notice period and things like that?
So in the RFP, we put in the standard contract from the town, that, you know, we got town council look at the contract, and then we use that standard contract and put it in the RFP.
Yeah, they'll be required to sign that contract, Brian. So they've all seen it. That's what they, you know, they made, you know, submitted their proposal based on that contract.
Great. And then in terms of experience, how do they stack up against each other? Recent local experience in this sort of project?
Triumph actually provided the modulars on Winchester High School. So that would be our recent experience with them. And I can't remember, Meg or Jay, where the buildings came from at Morocco and Ambrose that we still have today. That goes way back to like 2008.
I do recall, because me and Mr. Daring drove to New Hampshire when they were late to see them in production. So those two came from New Hampshire. It was right over the border. I forget the name of the company, but we weren't going to use them again.
Mhm.
So we worked with Triumph recently as a town, so we feel good about their execution.
They
It
did a
sounds
good
like-
job at the high school. We didn't have any issues at the high school, but it is quite a few years ago. Andy, you have you're using them currently, correct?
We use them in Webster. I know they have an office near Lowell, somewhere there up north there, but we work with them all the time. They're good. So Aries, we work with them in Swampscott, and J&J, they did. No, I'm sorry. Aries was in Weymouth. J&J, they did the high school in Swampscott, and also we're working with them as a the GC for Orange. They're building us a middle school over there, but the more construction as a GC than Triumph, you know, where, you know, they specialize in modular construction, and they've done a ton of this. So I think the recommendation for Triumph was the right choice.
Thank you.
Don?
Yeah, Jay, so warranties and operation and maintenance will be similar to.
Can't hear you.
Hang on.
I think he was asking about warranty and maintenance.
Yeah, Don, you weren't muted. You were just very quiet. Now you're muted. Okay, you're good.
Hear me now, okay. Warranties and maintenance, there's you maybe explain how that works. Will it be similar to what we had at the high school? Like if an HVAC unit craps out in year 2 on one of the units, is the supplier is that gonna be replaced by the contractor providing the modules to us?
Did you get that, Andy?
So yeah, so for as in warranty, like we put in a 1-year warranty in there, but we're leasing them. So if there's a problem, you know, like we're renting, if there's a problem, you know, they're the landlord. So the way it works in Webster is that whenever, you know, there's a defect or something like that, we usually call them because we're paying rents, right?
Yeah.
This is,
Okay.
yeah.
Good. Thanks.
Just On that exact comment, but tying to mine, right? Like, so maybe I should know this, I don't, but like, just because they're the landlord doesn't mean that the cost is on them. It all depends on whatever the contract says, right? So this rental contract that governs all aspects of the experience is something we have as a town that covers these maintenance and warranty other issues that Don just brought up? Or is there like a separate rider? So there's a construction contract, then there's a separate rental contract they provide? Like, that's what I'm trying to understand, if it's the same or not. I think it covers the same issues as Don was bringing up.
I know that we put in the RFP for a 1 year warranty, contractor guarantee on there, but I can double check to see anything with the HVAC unit. But those we're renting, like I said. So let me double check on that.
Right. I think what I'm getting out of it, and Brian, what everyone's asking, it's a contract to do the work, but it looks like we're also signing a lease agreement separately for that would be with this warranty and maintenance and all that would come under. It's almost like two different
Right.
documents, I think, or the lease agreement is a rider to the contract, possibly, where the contract's to do the work and install and then take it apart. But what we own under the lease.
So typically, Jay, what happens, it depends on what, I haven't read the RFP in a while, but the RFP is part of the contract, like the requirements laid out in the RFP. So Andy, are there all those warranty items within the RFP in the specifications, besides what you specified for the actual modular building? So we should look at that closely. Typically, we do not have two agreements for one, just for the rental. So let's look at the RFP more carefully, but we'll certainly make sure it's all. I'm just looking through the contract real quick.
The way it would work in like a commercial situation is you'd have the lease and then a work letter as an exhibit to the lease. The work letter would govern the construction project and all the terms of the rental would be in the lease. I know that's not the situation here, but that's the comparison I'm kind of drawing.
What do you say, Jay and Meg? Didn't we have the same situation for high school? Installation, lease, and removal?
Yeah, it'll all be covered under the contract. I'm not at all worried about it. We're really good at making sure we're covered for
Meg, Meg, I'm happy to help however I can. Look, if you want me to look at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be great. Lisa had a question. Lisa?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that as we construct these, they make sure that they're doing the ADA standards, the 2020 ADA standards. I mean, I know we're renting them, but still we have to make sure that somewhere in the contract, it's listed as that, because it is going to be something that the public is going to use, even though it's short term. So
that is in the spec. That is in the drawing and in the spec.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to make sure. Thank you, Andy.
Yep.
And I think too, Lisa, all three of the proponents actually mentioned in their presentation that the installations they underscored they'd be ADA accessible.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Including a ramp from the parking lot to the buildings themselves, not just within the buildings.
Good. Thanks.
And Geetha, you're next.
Yeah, I guess on a positive note, am I there? Okay.
Yes.
What I wanted to say was when Andy said there was a lot of questions came up, but when I looked at the prices from three bidders, feels good. That's what I was just wondering. The questions came is mostly related to the site work and nothing else. And other than that, it just gives me a good feeling of the prices listed out there, just being kind of in the same ballpark with the estimate and stuff like that. So.
I think the call, I can speak for us, we're on the calls, the three of them on Monday. All three knew what they were doing. I think Aries is just, they're a subsidiary of a larger company, and they're just a bigger conglomerate across the country, not where Triumph, I think, is pretty good in New England. And J&J, like they said, is a contractor hiring. So you have the modular company self-performing with Triumph. You have J&J, a contractor that's hiring the modulars, but they're doing the work. And then you have Aries, which I think is really a facilitator, putting both together. I don't know if they self-perform anything. But you had three different groups bidding on this job.
There were not actually a lot of questions during the bidding. Most of the questions were the response was it's in the drawings or in the specs. And then there were some questions about schedule and the like, but and trying to extend the bid, but there weren't actually a lot of questions. So I think the scope was pretty clear to them. I mean, there was a full set of drawings, remember? I mean, there were mechanical drawings, there were electrical drawings, or plumbing drawings, there's site drawings, civil drawings, landscape drawings, and architectural drawings. So they had plenty to look at.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So can you, I'm not sure if you can see me.
Yeah, we see it.
So we do have in the RFP that say provide warranty maintenance to correct all defects, material, and workmanship during the full term of the lease. So that's one area. Special warranty. So we have warranty for leaks.
Oh, you put a warranty search. Good. You can do wonders now. Yes, the PDF edit, you name it.
Yeah. So we do have some, but I have to go look into more detail, but we do have guarantee and warranty in the spec.
Todd, you had a question also?
Yeah, I was just wondering if all three vendors had the same heating and cooling, and would they cost any different to operate?
That's a good question.
That's actually design bid. That's design bid build. So they were given basic kind of parameters, either roof units or side units, and it's up to them to specify them. But it's a pretty each classroom is controlled by its own HVAC unit. It's like a hotel room.
Just mini splits. Sounds like fan coils.
Oh, yes.
Fan coils.
It's like a mini, yeah.
Yep.
Would there be a separate meter for them to pay for this? I don't know, Jay, the bill.
They're calling for a whole new electrical service to the site, transformer and all.
Okay. So separately billed and kept separately, whatever that may be.
It's going to have to be, the Parkhurst can't take on the additional usage.
The meter, okay.
Charlie,
All
a question, I guess, to follow up on what Todd asked. You did specify that they're all electric, right? No one's going to try to bring gas in for the heating, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm ready to make the motion, Jay.
Any other questions before? No? All right, Geether, it's all you.
All right, ready to make the motion to recommend, refresh my memory again, the name again.
If we want to accept their recommendation to award the contract.
To Triumph.
To Triumph, accept the bid to award the contract, is that what it's saying?
Yep.
A second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mark. Give it to Mark. All right, I'll do a roll call. Frank?
Aye.
Lisa?
Yes.
Okay, Brian?
Yes.
Todd?
Aye.
Geether, I got it. Myself, aye. John?
Aye.
Colleen?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye, yes.
Mark did. John is not present. Miller is not present. Don?
Yes.
Emily?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor. So we have a modular. Oh, Peter, you got a question? I didn't see you.
Peter, you're on mute.
Sorry, I was on mute. No, I had a question earlier. Not a question, but it's just
don't interrupt the vote for my question. It had nothing to do with that. It's just this, we had experience with them and I had a little bit of feedback on the warranty work and maintenance stuff, just to define it. That's all. My other question was going to be, what are the provisions for restoring the site after the modulars go away? Is that in this number?
It is.
It is.
Yeah. They own restoring it back to the original.
And that was one of our questions to them, and they have no issue with it.
And that's the parking lot and everything, or is that something separate, the added parking?
That's the parking lot. And they're gonna bring all the topsoil down to the DPW yard and store it there during construction for 2 years.
Can't guarantee it'll be there when you get back. No. Thank you.
Andy, are you gonna reach out to Triumph tomorrow or am I?
I can reach out to them.
Okay. So I need to talk to, after you do that, let me know. I need to talk to Liz soon about getting her cash flow analysis so I can set up the borrowings right away. I have a meeting tomorrow morning at 11. I mean, I have what you gave me already, but it'd be good to get it from them so I have a better understanding of what they're gonna, they might be thinking.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Future meetings are January 23rd and the 25th is in the afternoon. That's gonna be everyone together for the, we're gonna go over some sustainability and stuff.
So before we adjourn, Jay,
Yes.
can I just share with everybody some news we have about Andy?
Yes, please.
This is going to be the last time we're going to see Andy in a while. He is just an incredibly generous guy, and I have incredible respect. Andy has agreed to be an organ donor, and it's not likely that we're going to see him at our meeting on the 23rd. And I wish him well. I know, Andy, we all wish you well. I think we will not expect to see you again until early March. But I just want to say for the record, I appreciate the hell out of what you're doing. And that's, it's really incredible. So I wish you lots of luck and a speedy recovery, but it does mean that the EFPBC, we're not going to see Andy for a while. So, Andy, do you want to just sort of take a moment and talk about like what the plan is to how Hill sort of fills your shoes while you're away?
Yeah, so thank you, Chris. So I will be on surgery. I'm donating my kidney to my fiance. Yeah, she's dying. So I won't be back until probably end of March or mid-March. In the time being, Vivian and Marco Corian both will be attending meeting on my behalf, and on they'll be working with TAPE on programming meetings, and then we'll be having the DD cost estimate, and then the reconciliation, I believe, in like February, March, around that timeline. But I think they'll continue on, and then I'll come back, and then we'll just continue on with the project. So you'll probably see me back in March, but with one kidney instead of two.
One kidney.
That's a great thing you're doing.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really nice you're doing it.
That's one of the best out of office excuses I've heard in a while.
Yeah.
So before we wrap, I just saw when we went to full screen that Peter had a question on the HVAC. Peter, do you still have that question? Is he off? I think he jumped off. All right, I'll reach out with him tomorrow.
I think Peter's girding for our 7 o'clock Capitol meeting already.
Yeah. All right.
That's going to be a fun meeting.
Yeah.
They can't all be as good as ours,
That's very true. Very true.
All right.
Have people had a chance to look at the minutes? Because Don circulated those. If we have a second, I've looked at them. I don't know if others have yet.
Yeah, we don't have them on the schedule for tonight, so
Okay.
we're going to put them on for the 23rd, so everyone can get back to Don.
Cool.
Yeah,
Have any
we
comments,
didn't fit
get
that in. They just can't, I want to give everyone enough time to look at them and everything and get the comments back to Don.
Yeah, if
So
you
they will
have
be
any-
on the agenda for the 23rd.
Can I, just with respect to documents, if I can say, Jay, one quick thing. I have added to the project drive on Google a folder for module 5. That's project scope and budget agreements. So if you want to see that information, it's there. We literally just got, like today, the updated 3311 form. A lot of the detail, a lot of the documents that were changed to account for the MSBA's decision on December 21st to actually give us some more money. So that was a nice gift right before Christmas. So it's almost $2.9 million. Does not change the project budget, does not change the reimbursement rate. Remember that 36.21% is the reimbursement on eligible expenses. What they effectively did is they changed the definition or the value of eligible expenses. So we're getting 36.21 of a bigger number, and that could be as much as $2.88 million. So that's all been fully vetted by their counsel and so forth. Those documents you can now find in case you want to peruse them. And I have also summarized that change on the project website on the cost page, kind of the the executive summary of that can be found on the webpage. And what else? And we have a folder for module 6, which is the design development piece. So if as documents are sort of generated that the EFPBC needs to be looking at or that our team wants us to look at, you can find them there. Paul Ganji, who's our sewer whisperer on the part of DPW, has come in and made some recommendations on orientation of sewer lines on the project, particularly, I guess, Jay, given some of the challenges we're having right now at Lynch. So he's just last week provided some information and some requests for Charlie and his team to look at. So all that information is right now, that's all that's there. But if you open up the folder, you'll find there's one for Lynch for the new build, there's one for abatement and demolition, and then there's one for Parkhurst. So just a very kind of rough outline of where we will be able to find information should it arrive and we need to park it somewhere. So that's it.
So Chris, like,
sorry. I'll, excuse me, on the 23rd, I'll be bringing the amendments for Hill and Tappe to move into DD. So, I mean, they're working already, but this is the next amendment along the way.
oh, every time we hear amendment, I thought it's bad, but why do we use the word amendment?
I do amendments every day. So at least it's good for the contractors, the consultants.
The only question I had, Chris, was in your module organization, if we go, let's say I just want to go to the cost estimate, is it indexed or we have to open the big document and then scroll down? That's all.
So my best answer for that is we wait until Charlie and his team bring forward a cost estimate in March. Is that a good answer, Charlie? Where did Charlie go?
I'm here. Either that or look at the schematic design one.
I know, but we have to open the big document to always kind of indexed and we can just jump in right there.
Yeah, it's bookmarked, right? The electronic one.
Well, anyways.
I mean, I would just go to the PSR, but given that we're moving forward, Geeta, I mean, there will be a round of cost estimates in March.
Since RFP, everybody was asking a lot of questions. Do you want to put that also? The modulus there? I don't know.
I mean, we can certainly break out stuff if the committee wants to have sort of easier access to things as it becomes available, for sure.
All right.
John, do you still have a question? I saw your hand up. Are you good?
I'm happy to make a motion to adjourn, 6:37.
All right.
Second.
Thank you, Brian. All right, Frank,
Aye.
Lisa?
Yes.
All right, Brian, we have Todd,
Yes.
Etha,
Aye.
yourself, John,
Aye.
Colleen,
Aye.
we have Chris, Mark,
Aye.
Don,
Yes.
and Emily.
Yes.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Luck,
Great to get this out of the way.
Luck at the next one.
Right.
Yeah, and
Have a
stay
good
healthy,
week.
Andy.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Good luck,
Andy.
Andy.
Good luck,
Yeah,
Andy.
good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck, Andy. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Yep, thank you.